right. Hello, and welcome back to the Grand Effects. I am your host. My name is Tim. I apologize for the delay. There has been some major things that happened in the past couple of weeks. I had death in the family and also some personal things that also happened. So I had to take a small hiatus that keep me from doing these videos. But I've always had the ideas and everything. So I have a special one for you today, and also have a couple other ones that I'm going to do. So it's going to be quite a few series that we're going to focus on to make sure that people get what they need. And then I also want people to follow my TikTok. Go to King Tim 8. I will post it below and follow me on there, because what I will do is I'm going to start doing live shows. And I want people to comment and or go on live with me. And if there's anything that you want to ask or anything that you would like to talk about on the podcast, if you have an idea, or if there's some kind of things that you're having trouble to navigate through, feel free to follow and to take a look at my bio. I will let you know what time I will go on live. It will mostly be probably in the evening, because I want people to be able to see the live when they get off work or whatever they're at, and to ask questions and to let their hair down and to be interactive and to ask questions and whatever their heart desires, because I want to make sure that mental health is a pivotal point, especially in this time. And I want people to at least going in the right direction. If you cannot afford a therapist or anything, this is a step in the right direction. This will help give you some insight and a little bit of guidance to help you stay focused and be consistent. And when that time does come, that you're able to find a licensed therapist or a counselor to help you navigate through these challenging times. So we'll get started today. So today we are diving into something that shows up in every season. Whether you're climbing, celebrating a win, facing a new resistance, the topic is patience and perseverance. Because here's the truth: success doesn't erase struggle. Sometimes, right after the win, a new mountain appears. And I'm sure this happens to everybody. It even happened to me in this past week. I was in this thing and something else just happened, and then a death in the family happens. It happens to all of us. And in those moments, that patience steadies you, and that perseverance is what carries you forward. So, we're going to talk about that a lot more and why it is important to have patience. So, most of us think patience means sitting still, but that is not what real patience is. It actually means it is how you carry yourself while you wait. Waiting isn't empty, it is preparation. Do you know a famous tree, the Chinese bamboo, for example, is one of the best examples of patience and perseverance? Because we're also going to talk about that as well in a later segment. So, Chinese bamboo takes about 5 years to grow. After it's planted, you don't see any growth above ground. You water it, you nurture it, you protect the soil, but it looks like nothing is happening, right? So then in the 5th year, the same bamboo ends up shooting out of the ground. And it shoots up about, I think, nearly 80 feet tall in just a few weeks in that 5th year. So when you think about it, you're like, well, what do you mean about patience? So when you have patience, it means you have to do the work and you have to stay consistent, even when no one claps for you. and also having the perseverance by trusting the process, trusting the unseen work. So let's take a look at it in the faith view lens. So James 1:4 says, "Let patience have her perfect work, that you may be perfect and entire, wanting nothing." So what happens is that God often develops us underground before he elevates us. So whenever we have this thing where we have this new job or this new promotion, before we get those promotions, before we get those new experiences, he waits until we are refined enough in order to take those new experiences on. Let's look at it this way. Think of it like training hours, saving money, or building a skill. The invisible grind creates the visible results, such as going to the gym. When you go to the gym and you work out, you're thinking like, oh, if I go to the gym an hour a day, I'm going to see gains. But over time, when you're persistent and persevering and having the patience, because it's not only just working out, you got to eat right. You have to make sure you're portioning your foods, and you have to make sure you're consistent with your exercise and your daily habits. And then over time, let's say a year or two, then you start seeing the changes. So for me, I went to my doctor a couple weeks ago and I learned that I lost about 20 pounds. And I didn't really see that happening, but people see those results within me because they're like, oh my God, I haven't seen you in 6 months. You lost so much weight. And I'm like, oh, I did? Oh, I didn't realize. But over time, that consistency, portioning your foods, eating right, all of those things transform your body. It shows up. That invisible thing that you're doing is ends up having those visible results. So let's take a look at an example that Martin Luther King had years ago. He said, "Nature teaches us through the bamboo tree, but history teaches us through people like Dr. Martin Luther King Jr." He once said, "The arc of the moral universe is long, but it bends towards justice." That's patience. Trusting that time with when aligned with purpose moves in the right direction. He also said, "We must use time creatively, knowing that the time is always ripe to do right." That's the perseverance, acting, speaking, and moving even when the results aren't immediate. So in his life, he showed the balance between patience and perseverance. But when you have patience without perseverance, it becomes passivity. When you have perseverance without patience, it becomes burnout. But when you have these together, they create transformation. So let's try to have perseverance into practice. Perseverance isn't about grinding yourself down, it's also about staying aligned, right? Sometimes we do get off course, sometimes we do get off the saddle, sometimes, but it's all about getting yourself back up whenever you fall, getting back on track. That's what it takes. It takes that determination to get back in line. It takes that tenacity. It takes that grit to get where you need to go. It's continuing forward when the excitement wears off. So we have to think about whenever we have those periods when we're resting and we're like, okay, I need to take a break. That's fine. That's okay. We all need to take that break. I did. I took that break. I took 3 weeks off. But it's not the same as quitting. Rest says, I need to take a pause so I can continue. Quitting says, I no longer believe it is possible. Think of the athletes that are training for the Olympics. It takes them years, it takes them months to perform for seconds. And that perseverance is tied to vision. Let's take a look at it in the faith view. So let's take a look at Galatians 6:9. Let us not grow weary in well doing, for in due season we shall reap if we faint not. Perseverance is a spiritual discipline, trusting the harvest will come. We have to trust ourselves that that time will come. We have to believe in the plan. We have to believe in our God. We have to believe in our higher being that this will work. And it takes time. In a universal view, psychologists call it grit, the combination of passion and persistence. It's about showing up for yourself even when no one is watching. So, what do we do? What happens when we have this resistance? When we feel like we try to get on top or we try to do everything that we could? I'm glad you asked. So, episode 2, which is this, after the win, after every victory becomes new resistance. It's like a video game. Every new level brings tougher challenges. The win doesn't mean the fight is over, it means you graduated to the next test. So remember, patience is what keeps you grounded when progress feels slow. Perseverance keeps you moving when the applause fades. Think about those things. Take a moment. Think of a situation where you felt like you just couldn't take it anymore, when no one was cheering you on, or you felt like things were just being too slow. Think about an event where it took you a very long time to accomplish that thing that you really wanted. Maybe those student loans, or getting that house paid off, or that car loan paid off, or finally achieving that test or getting your degree. What is it that, or achieving that weight goal that you always wanted, or that body goal? What is it that you had to have patience and perseverance for to get you there? Think about those things and remember those things, that all that time and that patience that it took you to get there. And then not only that, think of that mountain that showed up right after. What does that mountain require from you? Is it the patience? Is it perseverance? Is it both? Here are some takeaways that you can do after we close. Here are some patient practices that you can do. Journal your progress on some of the things that you had to go through. Like if it's even about sitting in traffic and just learning how to be patient, think about it. Anything. You could just write in your journal. Think about, maybe let's start with 5 things and then breathe before reacting to it. Pray or meditate. And then let's do some perseverance habits. Let's set some micro goals for you. And then when you hit those micro goals, celebrate those small wins as well. And then have someone to keep you accountable as well. And then also, you can have some affirmation, because you also have to shift your mindset and remember that delays aren't denial, they're development. Like the bamboo, your roots are building strength for rapid growth later. Like the bamboo, your roots are building strength for rapid growth later. Before we close, I want you to remember these 3 words: plant, pray, or meditate, and then praise. Plant, sow the seed, even if nothing is visible yet. Keep watering what you believe in. Pray or meditate or stay mindful, because you have to keep your spirit centered through the process. And then praise, celebrate, and show gratitude. You have to remember what your journey is and what you're fighting for. That gratitude keeps your faith alive. Remember that. If you can plant, pray, and praise, you're already walking in patient and perseverance. Here's some affirmations that you can say to yourself. I will not rush the process. I will not rush the process. I will trust the timing. I will trust the timing. My perseverance will carry me where patience has prepared me. My perseverance will carry me where patience has prepared me. Just remember, patience plants the roots. Perseverance grows the tree. When your season comes, the growth will be undeniable. Keep watering, keep believing, and keep going. This is the Grain Effects. I'll see you in the next episode. Bye bye.